sharing his insights on research publication and plagiarism. So has a wealth of knowledge and experience in this field, and I'm sure we will be benefiting. We all benefit from his insights. So without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Aneesh sir to begin his session. Okay, so I'm handing over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, dear friends, once again I am here with another topic, publication and plagiarism. Well, we all know we are all academicians, researchers. We need publication. So my question is, how you want to publish? Do you want to publish it as an article or a book? Do you really want to publish? What do you say? Participants can say. At least one or two can say whether you want to publish or not. Yes. Somebody can say. No. Okay, I will tell you.
We want to publish.
Obviously, everybody want to publish. That's a normal wish. Now, why you want to publish? What else? Why you would like to publish your research? Obviously, I'll tell you the answer is for your career growth. That's only aim. That's the main aim for career growth. We can put it in our CV, and when we will appear for an interview, we will get a grace mark or points. So that is the idea, or that is the reason behind we will publish. But I would say, rather than that, publication will help you in a very different way. One of the most important advantage of publishing is you will become famous in this modern technological world. Once you publish something, if it is worthy enough to read, you will become famous. And that popularity goes even outside countries. So if you write something, if you publish something, if it is worthy, definitely you will get name and fame. So publication is very important, both for academic growth, or for getting a job, or for a promotion, as well as for gaining some popularity. Now, what is the advantage of gaining popularity through publishing articles? I can tell you from my experience, when you publish certain things, the readers are there, very genuine readers. They will make certain comments too. They may criticize you. They will send messages. I used to get several messages after reading my published ones. And in that message, some people will appreciate, some people will criticize. And that the readers includes even judges also. I can tell you one example. I had published one article dealing with genetically modified organisms. Genetically modified organisms. In fact, that was a very not that quality article or anything. It was just an article, but that was addressing the issue, legal liability arising out of use of genetically modified organisms. Legal liability. Now, this was published somewhere around 2014 or not 14, 12 or 13. And after publishing that, I got a call from National Biodiversity Institute. One of the officers from National Biodiversity Institute called me, and he requested me to visit that place and to deliver a session with that. Now, I was very happy in that. I got a call from such a big institute simply because I published an article. So publication of article, rather than academic growth, will have this type of advantages. And you will get several messages, as I said, maybe appreciation, maybe criticism, but we have to publish. Now, when I say we have to publish, The next question is how to publish and where to publish. This is one of the very, very prominent questions. Nowadays, everybody will ask. Why? Because those who are in the academic field, they wanted publications for their promotions or for their recruitment purpose. But that publications must be listed in UGC care list or must be something in indexed journal like Web of Science or Scopus or Copernicus or DOAG or something like that. So unless and until these publications are there in a listed journal, that publications will be of no use for an academician. So then this is why the question arises, where to publish and how to publish. So in my session, I will try to give you some insights about how to publish and where to publish. Now, process of research publication, that is how to publish a research article. First and foremost question is whether my write-up is worthy of publication. Whether whatever I wrote is of interest to others to read, those who are interested to read, whether they will be interested in my writing, whether they are ready to read. If nobody will read my writing, there is no point in publishing. Journals won't accept our publication, or book publishers won't accept my publication. So we must have an understanding, whatever we write, whether it is worthy of publication. And we feel that whatever I wrote is good. Everybody need to read or somebody may read. Then we can think about publishing. Then the question is, which journal I will select? We have a large number of journals, large number of publishers in our country, even outside country also. Wherever we want, we can publish, no problem. But when we have a manuscript with us, our primary duty is identify the appropriate journals. There are several people, several authors, they used to complain. I have sent an article, it was a very well written, well researched article, but still they have rejected it. Now, I will ask, which journal you sent, what was the article you sent, then they will say. But interestingly, I could find out that article is not in the scope of that particular journal. Or that particular journal will not publish an article of that kind, though it is a quality article. So the author will feel embarrassed by rejection. That is simply because the journal is not concerned with the topic or the way of research. That is why, not because of the quality. So that is what I am saying. When you want to publish some article, you have to identify whether your manuscript is coming under the scope of that particular journal. So you have to identify the journal. Now, how you can make sure that your manuscript or your article is within the scope? Generally, journals will say, these are the focus area or these are the theme of our journal, like that they will mention. If there is no theme or focus area, then what you can do? You just go through the previous volumes of that journal. Only the content page you need to search. So you can make out what are the articles they published, what type of articles they published. Accordingly, you can select the journal. Same case with publisher. So once you identify a journal, then the next task is follow the submission guideline. Every journal will have an instruction. Every journal will say, what are the submission guidelines an author need to follow? So you have to prepare your article in such a manner. Now, when I am saying, you may think, this is normal. Whenever we will send, we will follow the instruction. We generally do that like that. But I can tell you, around 95% of authors never follow journal instructions while submitting papers. 95% authors. you may be an exception. Those who are thinking, I am doing like that. Why I am saying this 95% ratio? The reason is simple. I am associated with more than 10 to 12 journals as an editor or a managing editor or something like that. Whenever we receive articles, none of the articles are following our instruction, our submission. And whenever I will see an article somebody submitted, I will just have a look at whether it is in the format or not. If it is not, immediately I will send it back with a note. We will send your article for review only if you will submit in accordance with our submission guideline. So like that I need to set. Till now, none of the other, I can tell you one or two law students might have sent an article with the proper instruction, proper way. Other than that, most of the law teachers will submit articles in their own way without following any instruction. Even though we used to mention you have to submit only MS Word format, they will set PDF. That's a real fact. Anyway, so if you are really sincere or really wanted to publish an article, you follow the journal instruction or the submission guideline and make each and everything, including the spacing, formatting, font, everything purely in accordance with the instructions given in the journal. That is most important. Then submission. Most of the good journals nowadays, they will ask you to create an online profile, especially indexed journals. They will ask you to create online profile. Rather than sending through email or anything, online profile you have to create. Through online portal only you can upload you can make the submission. That is what generally international journals will follow. So you have to create online profile with proper details. Generally, when we say, I can tell you one example. I'm one of the managing editor of International Journal of International, one of the journal publishing from a foreign country. Now we have a portal for uploading article. Only submission is possible only through uploading in the profile. Now, for creating profile, there were several questions like your name, surname, institutional affiliation, year of experience, 4 areas of research like that. When we see the profiles created by several authors, we could see only their name and institutional affiliation. They won't mention anything regarding their research area, their research experience, like that. Nothing they will mention. Simply they will say their name and institutional affiliation. That's it. Then they will create the online profile and upload it. I will tell you why these are important. As a journal perspective, when we see online profile, we will find out what are their credentials and what way they are experienced, where they have done research. We will appoint them as the reviewer. So that is one of the reasons why we are asking all these reasons. And secondly, when you are making a submission, if you are a quality researcher, you will ensure that your work is perfect. You will not be doing some malpractice in that, because we don't know what was the real way to do the research. You are the person, you did the research. We know only the report made by you. So we have to trust you as a researcher. What you are saying is correct. And how we can trust? If you are genuine. If you are not in a position to fill up your online profile with correct details, how serious you might be in making the research report. That bad impression will come from the journal side. So they will simply send a reply, article received, sent for review. In fact, that is not sent for review. That will remain there for another 6 to 8 months without doing anything. And this person will keep on ask what happened, what is the current status. Every time he will get an automated reply, it is under review. That's it. 2 to 3 years it will go. By the time he will take away that and submit somewhere else. So make sure that whenever you are filling any online profile, for submitting an article, all the necessary information should be supplied with, that to correct information. Then, next important aspect is understanding the reviewer's comment. This is most important when it comes to an indexed journal. Most of the indexed journals will send your articles for review. Generally, 2 reviewers or 3 reviewers. In my journals, we used to follow 2 reviewers policy. Now, what is happening actually? These reviewers will give review comments, and these comments we will pass through the author. Now, what author will do? Author will submit with some modification, and that modifications may not be in accordance with the comment given by the reviewer. So I will tell you, whenever you receive any comment from a reviewer, you should understand properly what was the comment. Then only respond to that. Then only make changes to that. I have experience to see several reviewers' comments. When we share with authors, these authors will resubmit without following the comments. Then we will send a mail asking that, or we will update in the portal saying that your changes are not in accordance with comments. Then they will say, we were not able to understand what was the comment, or we could understand in such a way. That is why we did this change. So never reply to reviewers' comment without properly understanding it. Okay. Then revision in accordance with comments. This is very important. Whenever a revision is suggested, remember, revisions are suggested with a caveat that once you will carry out the revision, we will accept your article or we will publish your article. So it is like an assurance that if you are properly doing the revision, definitely it will get published. But when you revise in accordance with the comments, that revision should be strictly in accordance with comments. There are certain authors, what they will do, whatever comments they will receive, they will make changes or revisions, but not in accordance with comments. The reason is, if you want to change in accordance with the comment, you will have to do effort, but you don't want to do the effort. So what you will do, you will simply change something like that. Then you will say, I have carried out everything according to the reviewer's comment. So that revision will not be accepted. So in such a situation, what we used to do is, we will simply send a mail. Okay, we again send it to the reviewer. Once we will get the comments, we will get back to them. Never we will get back to them, because we don't have time to see again and again whether he carried out each and every changes suggested by or not. It's a trust actually. So being a researcher, being a person wanted to get it published, you should ensure that your revisions are in accordance with comments. I'm telling purely from a journal side or journal manager side. So this way they will think. So when you submit an article, you will also face this issue. The next is resubmission. Generally, when you are asked to revise something, you will get a deadline. You will have to resubmit it within this many days or within this many months or something like that. Definitely days will be mentioned. A deadline will be mentioned. You have to strictly submit before the deadline. The reason is that deadline might have given thinking that after that it will go for publication. So if you delay it, their entire arrangement will get delayed. So once you fail to submit on the day, whatever good changes you have made, next day they will take your article if you are submitting by late. So late submissions, you should never do. Now comes the question. Identification of target journals. As I said, everybody will ask how to know which is the quality journal, which is the standard journal, how we will identify. Generally, one of the way to identify quality journal or standard journal is index. What are the indexed journal? Whether this journal having any index or not. We have Scopus, Web of Science, ABDC, UGC Care List, Impact Factor, DOJ, like that so many, Copernicus, like that so many indexes are there. So whichever journal you have identified, which belongs to your article is good with that. You see whether these journals are indexed. If it is indexed, you can publish, no problem. That would be a quality and standard journal. So while checking that whether these journals are indexed or not, you can go through the index as such. Like if a journal claims that they are Scopus indexed journal, then you should go through the Scopus list and see what is the position. It may be indexed 2020, but maybe 2021 it might have removed from that. But still the publisher will claim it is Scopus indexed or Scopus listed. So never go with that idea. Check Scopus list. You can identify very clearly whether it is indexed or not. Likewise, Web of Science, ABDC, everything you can verify. But when you do all this, you will get some messages saying that if you are ready to pay 20,000 or 30,000 rupees, your article will be published within 3 days. That too in a Scopus indexed journal. Or your article will be published within 1 month. You need to pay only after its acceptance. Once it is accepted for publication, you have to pay 50,000 or 30,000 or 25,000. And sometimes you will get WhatsApp message saying that first position of the paper publication is available. Second position is available with 50,000 or 40,000 or 20,000 like that. So if you pay the money, within 1 month or 1 week, you will get the PDF of your published article, and they will share with you the website of the journal, and they will share with you the Scopus list also. So when you click on the Scopus list, you will see this journal name. When you click on the journal, you will see your name. You are happy because your article is published in a Scopus indexed journal. Now, I would say that type of journals are predatory journals or fake journals. Never publish an article in a predatory or fake journals. Maybe for some time you can claim you had a publication or you are having a publication Scopus journal just for this. But in reality, real academicians knows this journal is fake. This journal is predatory. So select a journal based on the indexing. Go through the indexing. And when you go through the indexing, never go by the link sent by a publisher. Go through in Google. Generally, you identify what is the original website of Scopus, then check. Why I am saying this? You will get mail. Even I used to get mail every day. They are ready to publish within 20,000, 15,000, something like that. Within 3 days, you will get the publication. And they will provide, see, for Scopus indexing, they will provide a link also. But when I will check the link, I can see the name of the journal is reflecting there. But that link of Scopus is not original. That is phishing. That is created by the publisher. Anybody having 2,000 rupees can create a website like that. So when I am clicking the link provided by this publisher, it will go to their own page. It will look like a Scopus and everything, wherein this journal is listed. But in reality, that journal doesn't have any Scopus listing. So you be very careful while identifying the journal. Now, fake journal or predatory journal, how you can identify that? I will tell you one interesting thing. Current Science, it is a Scopus indexed journal. Current Science. It is publishing by Indian Institute of Science. Indian Institute of Science. You can see 3 websites below that. Can you tell me which is their original website? Which is their original website? Can anybody tell me? All these 3 websites are there. In that, 2 are fake websites created by publisher. 2. Only 1 is the original. Okay. Now, second thing, when you submit an article, what you will do? You will simply search the journal website link provided by the publisher. You will click and you will identify, oh, this journal is listed, this journal is perfect, your name is there, your article is there. But in reality, what you are seeing is all the three or all the one, means the one which you are visiting is a wrong one. Why I am saying, out of these three websites, the middle one is the correct one. The other two are fake, created by publishers. Now, when I am getting a message, WhatsApp message or email saying that I can publish your article in current science, a Scopus indexed journal, you need to pay only 20,000. And they will say, see the link of Scopus for identifying whether it is listed or not. When I will go through Scopus, I will find out current science is listed because the original journal is listed. And even if I will go through the Scopus website, otherwise also, I will see the same because it is a listed journal. But the website is a fake one. Now, what is happening actually? They will take my money and they will upload in their website, my article is published. But in original current science journal, my article will not be. I can tell you around 80% of Scopus indexed articles holding by our law teachers are fake articles. Sorry, fake are articles in fake journals. 80%. Whoever is claiming Scopus indexed journal, you see either it is fake or it is bad, or it is outside fake, outside the list. So it's a sad fact, but nobody will question that because they will all say, no, I haven't published anything. Like that only they will say. Nobody will reveal the truth. I know this fact. How I know this fact? I will tell you very interesting. I had the opportunity to sit certificate scrutiny for 2-3 universities for interview and their promotion. Very popular institution. When I will sit for certificate scrutiny, these applicants will come up with a journal article, and then they will claim, see, this is the journal, this is the article I published, it's a Scopus list. Now, in front of them, I will search through Scopus website. Most of the time, their journal is not there in the original Scopus list. Then they will start crying. And certain people, their journal name is there, but they have published not in that journal. Their article is not in that journal. But they have a PDF containing the journal title, the same style of page and everything. How they got that page? Through some fraud, otherwise what we can say, fake website. And they will start crying. They will say, we have paid 50,000, 40,000, 20,000, it has to be considered. How we will consider? This is a sad fact. I used to say to everyone, if you don't have publication, let it be. If you want Scopus publication, search Scopus website, then identify journal, not by through any agent. And one way you can identify whether it is a good journal or not. When you are paying money, they will not ask you to revise your article in any manner. They will simply say, okay, everything is accepted, within 3 days it will get published. None of this Scopus journal will process in such an easy way. 99% Scopus indexed or Web of Science journal will take minimum 2 months to 6 months to give a reply to you, whether it is accepted or sent for review. Just to reply. Minimum 2 months to 6 months. After that, you will get comments of the review. 99% of Scopus indexed journals, Web of Science journals, ABDC journals will give reviewers comments to you. You were supposed to undertake the revision suggested by the reviewer. Now, why I am saying this? Why this is very particular like that? The symbol. I am associated with several Scopus journals as a reviewer. For reviewing each article, they will pay 3,000 to 5,000, 8,000 like that. Now, when we are asked to review an article. They will send a big performer, around 5 to 7 page performer they will give to us. We have to fill each column. That each column contains 2 to 3 questions to the author. So that many questions I am giving a single reviewer. Likewise, my co-reviewer also giving that many questions. From that number of questions, common questions they will identify, or relevant questions the editor will identify and send it to the author. Then author has to undertake the changes. So this way, the process, review process is happening. Then how come you will get a Scopus publication without any reviewer's comment? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. 99% Scopus or Web of Science or indexed journal will tell you reviewer's comment. If you are not getting any reviewer comment, definitely that is a wrong or fake journal. Okay. Then another interesting thing, you will see certain people, some of my unfortunate friends, they will upload in LinkedIn and Facebook, etc., saying that by the God's grace or with the help of so and so, I could publish my article in a Scopus indexed journal. Then they will post the name of the journal, the volume of the journal, and an image of the journal, that page. Interesting thing, they had published article on domestic violence. The title of the article is Domestic Violence. But the title of the journal is Journal of Computer Technology, or Journal of Fisheries Technology, or Journal of Applied Mathematics. Like that. You see. Journal of Applied Mathematics is publishing Right Against Sexual Harassment at Workplace and its Indian legal framework. Hardly 3 to 5 pages or 8 pages. See the problem. See, I will advise you, never publish an article, legal article, in a non-law journal. Now, very rarely you have some interdisciplinary journals where law is one of the component or law is also there in their scope. In that situation, you may, but that is very, very, very rare. 95 to 98% journals are law journals. You should try law journals only. Very at the most, like a certain, very rarely like some computer technology and everything, they will have computer technology and law, etc. In that situation, if you are publishing an article on computer technology related law or cybercrime related law, that is okay, because that journal has its scope, it covers in that thing. Otherwise, if Journal of Computational Technology is publishing your right to education, what is the point in that? And such type of articles will not be counted anywhere. Remember my words, that such type of articles will not be counted anywhere. And that will give you a very, very bad impression among the interviewers. Because when I seated for one particular institution's interview as a reviewer, as a scrutiny committee member, the institution said very clearly, those articles published in other than law journals will not be counted. Then we have to simply throw away. And the interviewers used to ask, what prevented you from publishing your article in a law journal? Why you selected Journal of Biology or Journal of Ecotoxicology or Journal of Archaeology or Journal of Military? Why? You had number of law journals, but still you have selected Journal of Zoology for publishing your article regarding Malayamat Committee report or Justice Verma Committee's recommendation. You are publishing it in Journal of Biology. So never do that. That is very, very, very bad. That will give you a bad impression. Another interesting thing, if you are claiming, those who are having Scopus indexed publications, if anybody is listening, having a Scopus indexed publication, you just go through Scopus website, see whether your author profile is reflected there. If you want to publish an article in a Scopus indexed journal, you must have an author profile. And that author profile you need to link either in ORCID or to Scopus. Now, when you create such an author profile, if any of your article is published in a Scopus indexed journal, automatically in your author profile, that article will be added by the Scopus. Now, whenever we will sit for scrutiny, we will ask the person, what is your ORCID ID? What is your author profile? Then we will search in Scopus, author profile, his name, and we will see whether his name is there. Yes, his name is there. Whether any article is attached with that. No article is attached to it. So your Scopus publication is fake. If it is original, definitely in your author profile, that article will get reflected. So this is another way to identify whether your Scopus publication is genuine or. So make sure that you are not publishing an article in a fake journal. Another way to identify fake journal, immediate publication. As I said, none of the Scopus or indexed journal will process an article within 2 months. Because every reviewer will get time from 30 days to 45 days to complete the review. Whenever I used to review an article, I used to get time even up to 90 days they had given. Certain journals are there, foreign journals, they will say you need to give the comments within 90 days. See, then how within 3 days or 4 days or 1 week, you are getting this publication, you are getting the published PDF copy you are getting. So that shows this is a fake journal. So don't go with such type of fake journal. If you don't have publication, no problem. But don't do with fake journal. It will tarnish your image among everyone. Where to submit? I said fake journals you should not submit. You should identify only perfect or quality standard journals. And one way of identifying quality standard journal is listed. Is there any indexing is there? If indexing is there, that journal is fine, you can publish. If indexing is not there, you can publish even in a standard institutional journal, no problem in that. There are large number of universities in the country, large number of law colleges in the country. Their journals are there. If it is ISSN number or peer reviewed, you can publish in that. Only problem is whether it will have value equal to Scopus. As of now, because of the UGC's mandate, it may not be considered. But I am sure UGC will withdraw this care list, Scopus list, etc. thing because of this fraudulent practice among the teachers, not only law teachers, but other subjects also. So definitely UGC will withdraw this particular thing. Not many malpractices are going on nowadays. That too, big amount is involved, like 50,000, 30,000, 40,000 people are paying for getting publication. So that will be gone. So better you publish in peer-reviewed, ISSN numbered journals. That will remain forever if it is a quality institutional journal, not any private organizations or private student run or anything. And that will give you value also. In your profile, that will give you value also. Almost all the law teachers are aware of the fact your articles, even if it is published in a good university journal, they will consider. They won't reject it. Though they won't openly say, we are considering it is at par with a Scopus article, but they will consider because they know, almost all the law teachers know what is the reality in the country. So they will behave accordingly. So publish and identify journal accordingly. Now, next important thing is when you are submitting an article, you should follow the journal instruction. That is very important. As I said, they will say format. What should be the format? Some people will say abstract has to be there. Some people will say there should not be any abstract. Some journals will say author name should be mentioned in a separate page. Some people will say author name should be mentioned in the first page. So whatever be that you have to follow. Whether it is PDF or Word format, that you have to follow. Word limit you have to follow. Name and other details of the authors. That also very properly mentioned. Then acknowledgement of funding agencies. This is a very serious thing actually. Generally, law teachers are very hesitant to do research projects. If they are doing a research project, when they will publish an article, they are supposed to acknowledge the funding agency. Generally, I couldn't find any article in any of the law journals where people are mentioning this article is made from a project like that. Very rarely you can see that. So you have to acknowledge. Then deadline. Deadline is very important. Even if you are submitting just 1 hour late, that will not be considered. Then submission through portal or email that I have already mentioned. So that way you can publish an article. Okay, if you have any doubts regarding publication, we can discuss now. Any doubt, please ask regarding publication. No doubt.
So there's a question in the chat box.
What is that?
There's a question in the chat box, sir.
Okay, let me see.
You can check it.
What about Vidhi August? I'm sure that's a fake journal. See, fake journals names are somewhat very similar. Okay. By name itself, you can identify whether a journal is fake or not. I'll tell you some of the common fake names, like International Journal of so and so, so and so, so and so. Whenever somebody is using International Journal of so and so, so and so, so and so, from India, if the publisher is from India, 90% of that journals are fake. Only fake Indian journals will use the title International Journal of in law, not for other subjects, but in law, wherever you will see International Journal of some law, legal studies, jurisprudence, or something like. If it is publishing from India, other than a national university or a state university, that would be a fake one. No doubt in that. Okay, regarding this Vidhi August, I don't know personally that. I will check it, whether it is fake or not. And second question is, acknowledgement means copyright form. No, acknowledgement doesn't mean copyright form. Acknowledgement means in the article itself, you will have to mention this article or this manuscript is based on a project funded by so and so. Copyright form is something different that you are giving, transferring your copyright to the publisher so that publisher can utilize your manuscript in any way once it is published. If they want to republish it, if they want to edit it as a book, they can use. That is why you are giving copyright form. And sometimes you will give copyright form only to ensure as a mark, it is not copied from anywhere, so that the publisher will not have any copyright issue later on. So that way copyright form is functioning. Then another question is, can I provide list of index journal? Very simple. You go through UGC care list. You need to create a username and password. Just a profile you create it. Then you can check the listed journals. Very simple task, UGC care list. Just type in the Google UGC care list. You will get updated list. In that indexed journals, one option is there, fake or cloned journal. They will say cloned journal, this fake one. That list is also there. So you can simply find out whether it is indexed or not from that. Impact factor. Unfortunately or fortunately, in law, we don't have impact factor. We never consider impact factor journal. Now, what is this impact factor? Impact factor is calculated based on the fact how many times your article is referred by other authors. How many times, say for example, my article, how many times my article is referred by another person. So like that, when a journal is being cited by other people, how many times that journal and its articles were cited? Based on that, impact factor will be calculated. That is possible only if both the journals, that is the journal where your article is published and the journals where your articles were quoted, that both are available in online. If one is in hard copy format and another is in soft copy format or in the online, you cannot calculate impact factor. That calculation will be wrong. Like say, for example, our Cochin University Law Review. It is one of the prominent journal in India. You can find several textbooks, several articles referring Cochin University's articles. But if you check in online, Cochin University Law Review's articles or Cochin University Law Review doesn't have any impact factor. Why? Because it is not in online. But when it comes to science journals or international journals, they will have impact factor. Why? Because both the journals were in the online. So it is very easy to calculate. But in law, there is nothing like that. Now, again, impact factor. Who is going to count impact factor? Who is the authority to count impact factor? And which agency is counting? That also matters. When you see a journal having the title, International Journal of Legal Philosophy, it may have an impact factor of 11 or 4.5 or 6. But which organization issued that impact factor? That is also a matter. Sometimes it is their own saying, we have impact factor of 7. How we will ensure whether this 7 impact factor is genuine impact factor and if it is provided by a quality organization or not? Nobody knows. Generally, Thomson Reuters are there. It's a publisher. They used to give this impact factor. Like that, several publishers are there. They will calculate impact factor. But that also, I don't think it is having any relevance in law concern. Especially our legal journals are not available online. That may be the reason. That's what impact factor. Then any other question? No question. Okay. If there is no more question regarding publication, we will proceed with the next part, that is plagiarism. One of the very important things which adversely affect our publication. Right. We are all afraid of publishing articles simply because of plagiarism. So what is plagiarism? There is a lot of misconception about it. People will say, I have taken this paragraph and I have given footnote or I have mentioned in the bibliography, then why it will be considered as plagiarism? So I will tell you what is plagiarism and how plagiarism can arise. Then I will proceed further. As a definition, you can see plagiarism is the fraudulent representation of another person's language, thoughts, or ideas, or expression as one's own original work. So generally, there is an understanding. Copyright is available only to the expression, not to the ideas. Copyright is available only to the expression, not to the ideas. So what generally we law teachers does, we will take certain paragraph from certain article, we will rephrase it in our own language and we will write. And if we are writing that without citing from where we got the idea, that will also consider as plagiarism. Not in strict sense, but theoretically that is plagiarism. But that cannot be determined. So because of that, only expressions, if you are following as such, will be treated as plagiarism by law, as of now. Only expression. So the only the thing is, when you copy any paragraph or any sentence, if you rephrase it properly, that will not be treated as plagiarism by as of now standard. But once AI mechanisms are developed, that AI will tell you this idea is created by such and such person in his article. So then the people may ask, then why you haven't referred his name or why you haven't given footnote and acknowledged his contribution. Like that people may ask. Anyway, as of now, only expressions, whether you reproduced it as such, that is only the question. Even if you reproduced in a inverted comma or giving footnote, still it will amount to plagiarism. So never think you are giving it in inverted comma so that you have not plagiarized. or you had given footnote so that there is no plagiarism. Never think in that way. Now, interesting thing, plagiarism is an offense as well as civil liability. We have Copyright Act, both sections 57 and 63. One is talking about civil consequences. Another is an offense. Offense means minimum 6 months to 3 years imprisonment you may get if you are copying somebody's work and presenting it as your own. So be very careful while doing with or while dealing with any article or any write-up which is owned by somebody else. Now, this is what the real meaning of plagiarism and why certain activities are treated as plagiarism. I will read out one by one, then it will be clear. Copying parts of a text word for word without quotation mark. That is an indication that the words created by you or the sentence created by you. So that will be treated as plagiarism. So option is, if you are taking somebody's sentences, you can give it in footnote. You can give it in quote, then put it in footnote. This sentence or this paragraph I copied from such and such book. That is permitted. As of now, that is permitted. But still, that is also plagiarism if you are simply copying with quotes. And the problem is with quotes, if you are copying, in plagiarism software, most of the software will not identify that. If it is local and everything. If it is paid one, like Orkut or a Turnitin like that, they will identify even even sentences in inverted commas, they will identify as plugins. But there is a limit for that. Like 15%, 20%, only you can use quotations. If your percentage of quotation goes more than that, the sentences percentage goes more than that, the software will say you have copied. So entire thing will be considered as plagiarism. So you can use quotations, you can use somebody's sentences in quotation, but very, very less percentage. That is one important thing. Second thing is paraphrasing a text by changing few words or altering the sentence structure without citing the source. Now, I said copying somebody's idea also plagiarism. But as of now, law will not consider it as a plagiarism. But still, when you are getting an idea from somebody, it is a minimum level of courtesy we have to show to an author. We have to cite him. Otherwise, you will write 10 pages without any footnote. And whoever is reading that, they will come to a conclusion that you have copied everything. Why? Because the reader knows you can't create this 10-page ideas, that too very brilliant ideas in an effective way. So they will come to a conclusion that you have copied everything, even though some of the ideas you have created by yourself. The readers will come to a conclusion, or the scrutiny persons will come to a conclusion that this article is fraudulent, because no one can write 10 pages without any reference. If you are writing 10 pages without any reference, that will become a novel or a movie. Otherwise, that will be, if it is an article, definitely people will come to a conclusion that you have copied. So don't do that. Then giving incorrect information about a source. This is very interesting thing. Those who are doing research projects, dissertation, PhD, some of you might have done that. You will write something from somewhere, and for at least for 3 to 4 pages, you may not have any footnote because you paraphrased it. Now you don't know from where you took that or from which source you got that. What you will do, you will find out a source, or you will search in journal or some database or Google, somewhat similar to that sentence, certain articles result will come. And that article you will add as source. Now that is an incorrect information, because that article may not be strictly speaking this thing. If it is directly speaking same thing, then it is fine. Otherwise, that is a wrong thing. Because why you are giving footnotes or bibliography, that is for further reading. If any reader wants to know more about that, he can go and read the full text of the footnotes. That is why. So when a reader reads that full text, he will come to a conclusion that what information provided is wrong. It is not correct. That also will become create a bad impression. Remember, I will tell you one example. There are law teachers. They are well versed with certain articles. They know word by word the content of certain articles. Now, when you are citing that article as a source for something, without much thinking, they will say you have used incorrect information as source, because they know very well the content of that article. Even sometimes it may be their own article. You know that. That is one of the very, very, very dangerous thing. I will tell you one example. I had the fortune to sit for a Viva, one university Viva, LLM Viva in Kerala. So when I was sitting as a Viva board member, external expert, some of the students did research in my own thesis area, that is surrogacy. And they have referred my book as well as my article there. Now, interestingly, they don't know me. They haven't seen me, so they don't know me. When they approached before me Viva, since it was surrogacy, I just immediately looked whether my article or my name is anywhere used. Then I could see my name is used, my article is mentioned, but the citations they had given is wrong. The page number they have mentioned is wrong. I know that very well, because they were saying page number 12, but this particular matter is dealing with child. Child is included in chapter 7, somewhere around 250th page. Then how they can write 12? So I can make out it is wrong. Then I used to ask them, have you seen this article or have you just taken from the internet? Then they will confess, yes, we have just copied from some other article or from the internet name. So that problem will come. So never give incorrect information. That will also plagiarism. Then quotes. I said, if your article contains so many quotations, even if it is with correct citation, still that will be a bad thing, because there is a plagiarism limit. Like every university will say, UGC says 15% is the maximum limit. So every institution like my university says 10%. So if you are giving too much quotations, it will go more than 10%. Then you won't be able to submit that project. Then submitting a text written entirely by someone else. This is another interesting thing. There are some journals, they will say, do you have an article for publishing? You will say, no, I don't have any article. Okay, we will publish for you. You have to pay this much money. We used to say ghost writers. There are so many ghost writers. Even I used to get several calls from several publishers. Can I write an article on such and such area? They are ready to offer very good amount. Now, interesting thing, this ghostwriting will create big trouble to you in your academic life. I will tell you one example, very interesting. One of the person, she approached before an interview board where I was also part of it. And she claimed she had published an article. Then one of the interview board member took that article and started asking questions based on the content. She was not knowing what she has written in that, not even a single thing. He asked, what was your conclusion in this article? She don't know. What was the suggestion? No idea. When did you wrote this? No idea. Whether you checked 2013 position? No idea. Then finally he asked the question, who wrote this? Then she confessed. My husband arranged through somebody else. So this way, problems will happen. So never depend on ghostwriter. In fact, international standard, they used to say ghostwriting is also plagiarism, one of the method of plagiarism. Though our law is not against ghostwriting, but still it is plagiarism, never do that. Then another interesting thing is self-plagiarism. That is using your own articles in a different way. There are some people, they will write one article. And that one article, they will publish it in 5 or 6 places with different way, different title, and with little here and there modification. So never do that like that. That also will not help you, because self-plagiarism is also plagiarism. Even now UGC says that You can't do self-plagiarism. Okay, even if you are doing self-plagiarism, there is a limit. So don't do self-plagiarism. Now the question, when I am saying all these plagiarism and everything, you will all think how we can avoid plagiarism. Because we are all normal people, how we can write by ourselves. Even I used to refer several articles before writing. I used to copy from different articles. But how we can change or how we can get out of this plagiarism. There are certain methods you can use. I don't say it is 100% successful, but still you can try. One is original writing. This is one of the simplest way of avoiding plagiarism. Write by yourself. And that is possible. That is possible. Now you will think, how it is possible? Being a teacher or being a student or being a researcher, how I can write everything by original way without referring anything? Take the case of murder, section 300. If you read section 300, what is the scope of section 300? You think yourself and write in your own language. That is original writing. But when you write so, that writing may not have much quality. Why? Because you don't have more information about 300. So what you have to do then? You have to create more knowledge about article section 300. Once you have good knowledge about section 300 by reading several articles, you can write your own. Unless and until you will have good knowledge about a topic, you can't write by yourself. That is what I understood. Why we will refer others? Why we will copy others? Simply because we are not ready to read and understand materials. If you are ready to read and understand various articles, books, you can write by yourself. I can tell you an example. If somebody asks you to make a movie script, you may not be able to. But if you read 10 to 15 movie scripts, you may be able to say something. So likewise, read as much as possible information about that particular topic. Then think about writing. So extensive reading of literature, that is very important for original writing. If you have extensive reading, and reading doesn't mean only law book. You can read law book, law articles, newspapers, novels, movies, everything you can take as a reference. I will tell you one example. When I started my thesis, when I started my PhD, I was supposed to make a presentation of research proposal. I did on surrogacy. So when I started thinking about presenting surrogacy, I was thinking how I will present this. Because if I will start human reproduction is something like this, and like that, and like that, I'll have to start, then surrogacy like that. Okay. But then I was thinking, I read somewhere one story. That story is associated with Vikramaditya or King Solomon, wherein two mothers or two ladies were claiming ownership of one child. Both the ladies were saying, this is my son, this is my son. Now, you know the story very well. You all might have heard about it. The King Solomon said, okay, you cut and divide this boy into two. Give each part to each. Immediately one mother said, or one lady said, no, don't kill. Give to her. So he could know that lady is the original mother. So accordingly, he decided the matter. Now, this story was in my mind. So I started my presentation, or I started my synopsis by writing this story. And I said, this was a fictional story. We don't know whether it is real or not. But similar questions can arise before the court because of new artificial reproductive technologies. Why? Because new artificial human reproductive technologies allows or capable of creating more than one mother connected with child, or more than three mothers. So when I started like this, the audience was perfect. Audience got idea what I am going to do. And when I will submit an article, this reviewer is very clear. Reviewer will understand. Okay, see, this is the thing he is going to write. So extensive reading will help you to write originally. And that original writing will avoid plagiarism. That is the golden tool. But without extensive reading, you can't write anything. Even if you will write, that will not have any quality. So those who are intending to publish an article, you must have extensive reading, not only on your topic, but to otherwise also. Then only you can correlate and you can present your ideas in a clear, attractive manner. Okay. Then another method is finding models. This is another way of approaching. When you want to write an article, you see similar type of topics, how people have already written articles. You have number of articles you will get through online. So just glance or just read it, how they have written it, what is the style of language, how they made. So same way, you can also think. So you have to find at least 10 to 15 model articles. And that model articles, from that 10 to 15 articles, you can come up with your own model. Then your article will be original. Never copy any model as such. But take idea from that. Convert it in your own idea. Then make so that your article become plagiarism free. Again, if you can't do original writing, if you are not able to do original writing, because we are all human beings, so sometimes we may not be able to write anything originally. Some paragraph we need help. Take that paragraph, no problem. But paraphrase it. That is, express it in your own language. So after reading one paragraph, you can express it in a different way. When you express it in your own way, that will go away from the present level of plagiarism standard. So paraphrasing will help you to avoid plagiarism. So these three things, original writing, finding models, and paraphrasing, will help you to avoid plagiarism. Other than that, there is no other option available. Please keep it in mind. Without these three, or at least two, you cannot make an article plagiarism free. Or else you will have to ask some ghostwriter to give like that. And even the ghostwriter will do the same thing. So then why can't you do the same by yourself? So original writing, for that, read literature, find a model, and paraphrase it. Now, when I am saying paraphrasing, you all will have a problem. You will say, however much I will paraphrase, the language will come similar way, or I am not in a position to paraphrase. We have some online tools like Word Tune Editor. You can search through Google, you will get Word Tune Editor. If you use Word Tune Editor, if you are putting a sentence there, they will tell you different options in a paraphrased manner. So you can follow that paraphrasing method using Word Tune. Or even Quillbot. Quillbot is also a paraphrasing tool. If you give a sentence, they will paraphrase it. But only problem with these online tools for paraphrasing, when it paraphrases, it may change the meaning of entire sentence. So be very careful that the meaning of sentence is not changing. Only the structure and the expression is changed. So once you convert it into a different sentence, you have to ensure that the meaning is correct. The meaning is not changed, whatever you intended. So that way you can avoid plagiarism by paraphrasing. So that is the options, or these are the options of avoiding plagiarism. Other than that, there is no other solution for avoiding paraphrasing, avoiding plagiarism. Now, one interesting thing I will tell you. when you submit an article to me, I would say the first paragraph is copied. Second paragraph is not original. Third paragraph may be written by you, like that. You know how a person can say like that? Most of the law teachers, even prior to the advent of computers, teachers used to say, this is not written by you. How they identifies? They identifies, or we can identify by reading the language. When a person writes 10 pages, that 10 page, if he has written by himself, the language, sentence construction, grammar, spellings, vocabulary will be same or similarly. If your first paragraph is a high quality standard sentence, second paragraph is not that much standard sentence, easily one can make out. These two are from different places, not yours. Why? Because you may be copying that from a foreign professor, or you may be copying from a law student's assignment, which is uploaded in the website, or some blog written by some non-law student or advocates. Now, the way of sentence construction of that advocate or non-law student and the sentence construction and vocabulary of the American professor will change. So when you are referring articles like that, when you are making articles or any project chapter like that, one can easily identify without any software, one can easily identify this paragraph is not original, this paragraph is copied from somewhere. So like that problem will come. So make sure that whatever you will copy will be converted into your language. When you convert it into your language, the entire manuscript will have one standard. Otherwise, that will give you very bad impression. And again, very interestingly, when you copy something, make sure that that is available or that is appropriate in your field or your article. I will tell you one example. Recently, I have gone through one dissertation wherein a student has written a particular act. He is citing a section 6 of this act. Then I asked him, which is this act you are referring? He said, this particular act. Then I asked, which country having this act? He said, India. He said, India. I said, see, in India, there is no such act as far as my knowledge. And we checked through online also, there is no such legislation. Then I asked him, from where you got this section 6 and this act? He said, no, sir, I saw that. That is why I written and everything. Finally, he confessed. He copied that article or that sentences from an article written in a foreign country. And that country having that article, that section, that legislation. So when you copy paste something to your report and saying with respect to India, you have to make sure that whether it is applicable in India, whether that is there in India or not. Otherwise, your sentences will give a wrong answer. So that is what, these are all the things you have to keep it in mind while dealing with plagiarism, so that you can avoid plagiarism. So this is one of the picture which I got in the morning when I was making the PPT, which I felt very happy. It's the real face of a publisher, because the person is going to publish something. There were several people standing there with axe and weapons. So likewise, plagiarism software is there, editor is there, reviewer is there, reader is there. Sometimes when you publish something, readers will identify the mistakes and they will point out. See, this person has published this in a wrong way. So all that problems will come. So make sure that your publications are plagiarism free, error free, and quality one, so that you will be remembered even after your generation. Like we are referring articles written by several persons, and that might have written in 1800, 1700, or even they might have passed away. All these articles still we are referring. So being a researcher, being a law teacher, create articles, live in the earth. Even if we are not in the earth, that articles will continue and our name will be used our name will be remembered by at least some people. So this way, you should go with your articles. So with this, I would like to end this session. If you have any doubts, you can ask. We have, I think, half an hour we have. So any doubts you have regarding plagiarism and publication, we can discuss. And even regarding research proposal also, you can ask. I will be happy to answer. You can unmute and ask, no problem. Whether we can take ideas from blogs, never ever do that. Ideas from blogs. Problem is that blog writer is writing his own ideas. Blog writer is writing his own ideas. That may not be a correct idea. So if you are copying that, you will end up in trouble. So I would say never copy ideas from blogs. Most of the blogs are created by people belongs to what we can say student community or just passed out students. And they wanted to just generate the habit of writing, or they want to improve their writing skills. So when in that way, when they write something, if you take ideas from that, that may not be a proper idea. So never take blog idea. But if it is written by a very good non-reputed author, then you can, but otherwise don't take. Can we publish the chapters of our research thesis as research articles by working on it? You have to do like that too. That is very important thing. Remember, as per UGC, nowadays it is not there, but earlier UGC says, in connection with your research, you have to publish an article. That was a mandatory thing. But now UGC has changed, so some of the universities were also changed that rule. But still, when you are doing a research, you can publish an article as its chapters, you can publish it as an article. That is not a self-plagiarism. But problem is, after submission of this thesis, if you convert it as a book, then it will become a book. Because journal you have already given the copyright to the journal, and later on you are publishing it with some other publisher. So the journal may question you. Even though it is your work, since you have transferred the copyright of the articles, that portion of the articles you cannot reproduce in your own book. That problem may happen. So what can be done in this situation? When you publish an article based on your research, especially PhD thesis, don't write or don't publish it as it is. Modify it little bit. Idea may be same, let it be. But the sentences, modify it. Then publish it. That is verbatim chapter, you should not reproduce and publish it. That will adversely affect you. So never do that. Verbatim reproduction of your chapter. But based on your chapter, you modify it and submit. Then it is okay. Otherwise, it is not good. Then dissertation topic and PhD topic is same. Can we use? That itself is a wrong practice and unethical practice in fact. Never take dissertation topic as your PhD topic. You can take, provided after completing your dissertation, there is some good change happened in your topic. Like a new legislation came or a new case law came, something like. Otherwise, if you are expanding your dissertation as a thesis, that is a wrong thing. I can tell you, when you approach interview board will very specifically ask, this is only your dissertation, just expanded it, that's it. What is more in this? You haven't done anything. It's like doing your dissertation only. That impression they will create. And again, if you are submitting for any funding or any approaching any agency, they will ask, do you have any previous research experience? Now, what is there to show your previous research experience? Dissertation, thesis. And if both are on the same topic, the funding agency will come to a conclusion that you are not a good researcher, genuine researcher. So rather, if you have done dissertation in one topic, PhD in another topic, then you can say you have two experience in research. And people don't have any problem. So never take dissertation topic as PhD topic, unless and until there is a significant change. Like surrogacy. Somebody has done dissertation on surrogacy. After that, surrogacy act was came into existence. Now, based on surrogacy act, you may do a thesis. That may be admissible. But otherwise, it is very bad practice. I feel maybe other teachers may have a different opinion, but what I feel is that is not a good thing to do that. Any other question? Yes, please. Any other question? I thought you all will have number of questions. That is why I limited my discussion. I allotted this much time for discussion. Yes, please. No more questions. Yeah, in that case, I will just tell you something more because I wanted to tell you because of time. I thought I may not be able to cover regarding publication of chapters. Generally, people used to ask where to publish, whether we will publish in a journal or a book chapter or conference proceeding or magazine or newspaper. So what is valuable for them? That is what they wanted to do. I will tell you, in case of publication, you should give preference to journal articles. You will give preference to journal articles because journal articles having marks in UGC. UGC, as per UGC norms, if as of now, if you wanted to attend for an interview, you need to satisfy certain points. Then only you will be eligible to attend interview. That is what the present law. So you need points. In that level, you need to have articles published in journals only. That only they will count. But when it comes to articles published in book chapters, as a book chapter or edited book, there are certain institutions, they will give equal value with articles, journal articles. But there are, the previous UGC guideline says less mark, like 10 marks for journal articles, 2 marks or 5 marks for the chapters. So in any case, book chapters will get a point, but it will be very less. So give preference to journal articles. Then another interesting thing, your conference proceedings publications. I would say there is no point in publishing conference proceedings. Why? Because in every interview, most of the institutions and including UGC will consider either publication or conference proceedings public, either presentation or conference proceeding certificate. They will not consider both. So if your presentation certificate is considered, then your conference proceeding publication will not be counted for mark. So if you are having conference proceedings publication along with conference presentation certificate, only one will be taken into account. Then why to waste your good paper in conference proceeding? You present the paper, you get the presentation certificate, and this paper you modify it, publish it as a totally different paper in a journal, so that you will get two things. Both will be counted in that case. So don't go with the conference proceedings publication. And if it is mandatory for the conference, then you can give. Otherwise, don't go. Then publishing in newspaper and online sites. Online sites publication doesn't have any value. If you are not confident enough to publish in a journal, for getting some experience, you can go for online publications. Only for improving your writing skills and to get a confidence. Otherwise, don't go with online publications. And when it comes to newspaper writing is, you can do. It's not a bad thing. Even I used to do. But it is not exactly legal perspective. You are saying law only, but in a very general way, without any footnotes. So if you are able to explain certain things with legal angle, without referring any footnote or any section or anything, you can publish in newspaper. But interestingly, these newspaper articles will not be counted anyway. But for gaining popularity, you can do that. Then magazines, same thing. For gaining popularity, you can publish it, but nowhere it will be counted. So give preference to journals, that to indexed journals. If you cannot go with indexed journal, give preference to institutional journals. Okay. One question. Self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism means our own article. We are publishing one article I will write, then 5 or 6 articles I will make from that with a little bit here and there modification. That is what self-plagiarism. That is not permissible. Okay. Then even after quoting properly, certain articles or statements are shown as plagiarism. Yeah, that's what I said. Why you are using quotations? Don't use quotation. You change it in your own language. Like according to Austin, whatever Austin said, we wanted to use that. But you can say, according to Austin, then write in your own language what Austin said. Don't give quotations. If you give quotations, that will create trouble. So avoid maximum quotations. Okay. If we check our article before publication in any plagiarism site, will it amount to plagiarism? See, very interesting thing. This is a practical problem facing by some of the authors. Once you submit an article for publication to a journal, later on, if you submit this article to somewhere, they will say it is 100% plagiarism. Why? Because, like, if you are submitting an article for my Cochin University law review, we have a software that is Orkut. We will upload this article in Orkut and we will identify how much plagiarism is there. Now, if somebody else will upload the same in the Orkut, then that article will say 100% copied. Why? Because the article which I uploaded is there in the depository of my Orkut. If it is there in the repository of Orkut, that will also be counted as another article and it will be considered similar to the one which you have written. So 100% plagiarism will show. So what people will do? People will do like whenever we will upload an article through Orkut, we will disable the option. It should not look into depository of Orkut or any other site. So if you are disabling that, this issue won't come. But most of the people, those who are using this Orkut, they were not able to know, or they were not knowing how to disable this depository research. If you were disabling it, there is some matter. There is no problem in that. Like Turnitin having this problem. If I have used Turnitin in my site, if somebody else will do the same, it will show 100% because it is there in my depository. I will have to delete that article from my depository. Unless and until I will delete or disable, it will be shown as plagiarism. That is why if you check article in a plagiarism software, if subsequently it will show it is copied from your own article. So don't do that, or you make sure that when you are submitting, you tell them you have to disable the depository search. Otherwise, it will show completely plagiarized. Okay. If we constructing our own sentence, can we avoid? See, if you are constructing your own sentence, you can't avoid footnotes. Why? Because everybody know when you are writing 10 pages, no one can write 10 pages without any knowledge or without taking clue from others' article. If you are taking clue from others' article, why? What prevents you from acknowledging? And there is a saying in the academic world, if you are having an article without number of footnotes, that article is not good. Because it might have come out from your own mind. It's original. And you are not a famous personality. So whatever you will come from your own mind may not be of quality. Suppose if it is N.R. Madhavan sir or somebody, their article, even without any footnote, people will say he is very experienced. He is having very good knowledge. So whatever he will wrote is having content. But if I will write something without any footnote, people will say it is his original thinking. He is not a big person. He is just like that. So whatever original thinking is there, that doesn't have any quality. That is why we are giving footnotes. So when we give footnotes of good articles or standard articles, readers will come to a conclusion, oh, he has read several articles and it may have some quality. What he's saying is correct. So better give footnotes, even if it is our sentences. At least 5 to 6 footnotes in every page. Any other question, please? Any other question? No more questions. Okay, in that case, I will stop today because you might have got bored with me. Right from morning, you are seeing my face, my voice. So better I will stop here. We'll move to the organizers.
Anashwara? Sir, 1 minute. There is a technical error.
Okay. Audience can utilize. We have time. So anybody wants to know more about today's discussions, I will be happy.
So sorry, sir, for the inconvenience.
Yes, please.
Okay. Is there any doubts that need to be cleared? Okay, if all doubts are cleared, sir, shall we wind up the session?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you for this wonderful session. Thank you for sharing your valuable knowledge and experience with us in these 2 sessions. Both sessions were highly informative. I'm confident that the knowledge you shared with us will contribute in developing our research skill, also in developing our career. I would like to express my sincere gratitude for your valuable insights and guidance. On behalf of Al-Azhar Law College, FTP conveners, and all the participants, I extend my heartfelt thanks for taking time for sharing your valuable knowledge and expertise with us. This contribution to our FTP cannot be appreciated with words, but we are truly fortunate to have the opportunity to learn from you. Once again, thank you, sir. Thank you for your valuable contribution to this FTP program. So hope to have more opportunities to learn from you again in future. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Also thanking all our participants and all those who have worked behind the screen. Hope all you had a great session. Looking forward to see you all in the next session tomorrow. So until then, bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you all. Thank you, organizers. Thank you, Shiva, for giving
Thank
me
you,
this
sir. Thank you for your valuable time.
wonderful opportunity, and I am happy to see all these participants. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, participants. You can leave now. We can meet tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you.